Good morning, y'all. I'm an addict named Austin. I got clean here at Serenity House in Abilene, Texas, October 19th, 2014. We have a medical detox, residential inpatient, outpatient, and a peer recovery coaching support services program. We also have a men's campus in Fredericksburg, Texas. But the reason I got on here today was to read the Just for Today with y'all. November 19th, the language of empathy. The addict would find from the start as much identification as needed to convince himself that he could stay clean by the example of others who had recovered for many years. Many of us attended our first meeting and, not being entirely sure that NA was for us, found much to criticize. Either we felt as though no one had suffered like we had, or that we hadn't suffered enough. But as we listened, we started to hear something new. A wordless language with its roots in recognition, belief, and faith. The language of empathy. Desiring to belong, we kept listening. We find all the identification we need as we learn to understand and speak the language of empathy. To understand the special language, we listen with our hearts. The language of empathy uses few words. It feels more than it speaks. It doesn't preach or lecture, it listens. It can reach out and touch the spirit of another addict without a single spoken word. Fluency in the language of empathy comes to us through practice. The more we use it with other addicts and our higher power, the more we understand this language. It keeps us coming back. Just for today, I will listen with my heart. With each passing day, I will become more fluent in the language of empathy. When I read this, I think about, and I had tried a bunch of different things to get clean. A bunch of different people had tried things for me to get clean. Prison didn't work. One of the things about the treatment center when I got here, it was, and this is really my experience. This is not a shout out or a lure to try to get you to find out about Serenity House. But when I got here, man, there was people just loving on me. And I didn't understand why, but there were some people like really loving on me. And then when I got some hope that I could stay clean, I started asking questions about how do I do this, right? Like with people, with the techs and the people working with me directly. And I found out that most of them had been through a program of their own and were working some kind of program of their own. And so it was really, I didn't feel like anybody was trying to make me do something they weren't willing to do. These people just loved on me. And then when I started asking how, they started telling me how they did it. And that was a game changer for me, man. I felt like I was in the right place. And then I start working the program on my own, right? And in the beginning, I know that there's some, first of all, the hugs. And then there's just some things that my heart was really feeling. My spirit was coming back to life. And so I felt like I was speaking the language of empathy on some level, but just like the reading said, found much to criticize. I could tell you what not to do because I could tell you what everybody else was doing wrong, right? And it's a good thing I didn't come to work at the treatment center 8 years ago because I was still really good at pointing out what other people were doing wrong. And until I did some work on myself and built relationships with other people in the program, I was able to start feeling the language of empathy, the love for others, regardless of the decisions that they made. I always share this. I'm grateful for the people in Narcotics Anonymous because I have a family today and we speak a special language, right? And it wasn't like in the beginning, we just became great. We walked through some things together. We walked through some simple things together. We walked through some hard things together. We matured, we grew. And so the relationships that I built in walking through those things with people, now they're like family or closer than family, just to be really honest with you. And so it not everything happens at once in the beginning. We had to spend some time walking through some things together. But I can honestly say that today, when I'm here and I'm around these people, I just want to be a hope shot to them, lead them in the right direction, give them some hope. And I don't care as much about what they're doing wrong as I do about what they're doing right. And a lot of times that's just like being in the right place and being a part of, because I wasn't necessarily doing the right things in the beginning. I was just in the right place with the right people. And so I hope that helps. Thank y'all for tuning in today. I hope you have a good day. Talk to you tomorrow.